Mm. Hello, Mythos.
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Dude, I talked out my cough. I'm so happy. My cough. I talked so much, my cough is gone. Thank God. I it's. I think I'm the first person to ever do that. You have a VOD, right? You said you'd get
Yeah,
one,
I just got it up. Thankfully, the YouTube worked its magic and the quality is not shocked. So
dude. It's taking me literally over 24 hours to process my YouTube video. It's coming out today.
yeah, this one was like 25 minutes, and I'm pretty sure
What the
it was.
hell?
Yeah, it took a while.
Okay. Um.
It's
Okay.
just like a bunch of like I took like 3 or 5. It's like 3 to 5 of the hot drops. I was doing solo duos, which is something I normally don't do.
Okay. What do you normally do?
I normally just play ranked, really.
Okay.
I kind of
That's
stepped out of my comfort zone for this.
good.
My my friend, he does a lot more soloing than me, so he gave me a few little pointers that I tried to work on, but definitely was a very rough experience the first few games, but you know,
Okay.
kind of kind of worked a bit of the kinks out towards the end.
Okay. So your goals are improvement, strafe, and dodge. Are you just interested in that, or are you interested in like more broad mechanic wise? Because if you want to focus on this, we can do that 100.
Yeah,
percent
I would like to focus majorly on that, but I'm also not opposed to just general mechanical advice, because I am trying to like work on, my movement and everything.
Mm.
Uh, so
Aim punch my pussy. All right.
yeah, I actually got someone reported me for that name. I think someone baby raged in TDM at me, and I got a funny little email from uh EA.
Funny. Amazing. So you have a really good KD, and you mostly play ranked, right?
Yeah, I mostly play ranked. I mean, honestly, like I really don't have that much playtime in Apex overall. Like, I only have like I don't even have 5K games yet. I have a, just approaching like 1,300 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your peak rank? Diamond or
Masters.
masters? Okay.
Yeah, I was Masters in season 14.
I thought you were gonna say season 12, and I was gonna cry.
No, no, I did get. Of course, I got Master Season 12, but I got
Yeah.
Master Season 14 as well.
Okay. Both splits or
Yeah, both splits.
okay. Um. Okay. And you play everybody, right?
Yeah, I play pretty much anyone. I was always kind of flex, a flex individual.
Okay.
I played Horizon. Seer was my. No one else wanted to play Seer, so I got stuck
Smile.
on the funny boy.
Smile. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
that. Okay. So here, I'm gonna screen share. You won't be able to hear audio from your VOD, but that's fine. You played the games, you should be fine with that.
Yeah.
You can see my stream, right?
Yeah.
If I draw, you can see on the screen.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So, we'll look at this a lot. I love aim punching my pussy. Thank you, Nova. Thank you. Very cool. We'll be looking at this mostly through. We'll look at this as mostly a mechanic session, as you said. One of the mechanic session, and you said you mostly want to focus on strafe and dodge, and you're totally down to work on other mechanics. But this will probably be what we mostly focus on.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you: have you read Sam's Strafe Guide?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I've read it like 2 or 3 times now.
Okay, and you understand the concepts from there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I have a pretty good
like
understanding of
solidly
like
or like loosely?
I would say pretty solidly. Like I have a good understanding of global bias and everything. I just kind of struggle to implement it into my gameplay.
Okay.
Um, I would say like if I were to rate it on like A-B scale, I'd probably give myself like a B on understanding of it.
Okay. All right. I will probably get into some more advanced topics of strafing and strafing and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But and I assume you know the difference between mirroring and anti-mirroring, especially from Sam's guide as
yeah,
well. And then you understand. Do you understand so Sam's guide is also generalized very much for games in general, not just Apex. So, do you understand the general application of things like anti-mirroring in Apex alone? Because there is specific Apex unique stuff that with anti-mirroring. I don't know if you're aware of.
I wouldn't say that I'm familiar with that. No.
Okay. Recoil smoothing is a big one. I'm sure you know what recoil smoothing is.
Yeah.
But understanding its usage in anti-mirroring and mirrorings and stuff like that is really important. We'll look at the app. We'll look at the practical applications of stuff like that. Um, but I'll go ahead and let your gameplay play, and I'll go ahead and look at like your aim. I'll look at your just your raw mechanics in general. I'm mostly gonna be ignoring a lot of your like decision making, except on like a macro level. If there's like something that's like really bad, I'm like, why did you swing that or something like that? I'll like do
Oh,
that. But
there's a few moments in my death where I looked back when editing this and I was like, oh, why did I swing that?
also Skypad, Soropad user. W.
Yes.
All right. Whose code did you use? I need to know.
Well, I used personally. I have my boy Doki. I had to support my boy Doki with the
All right,
Skypad
coaching
code.
session's over. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I don't care. Why the hell are you playing Octane? For fun?
Just
For fun?
for fun. I just got his heirloom. You
Okay,
know,
fair enough.
just kind of messing around. I was considering Wraith, but I just new heirloom. You know.
Octane is really bad against shotguns.
Oh yeah.
He's
I
like
learned that
he's
the
so
hard way.
miserable. You have to have really, really, really good strafing, and even then the reward isn't worth it. So, do you game train at all?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, not bad. Very, very, very textbook fight here. You have you have good cover. They're slow strafing in the open. You play this really well. Like this guy's just hard ADS, hard ADSing. You jiggle your own ADS. It's good. It's important. It's important to realize recognize what's good, so you keep doing the good stuff, right? I'm not only gonna point out stuff you do that's bad, because if I only point out stuff that's bad, you might not necessarily know what you're doing. It's good, right?
Yeah.
Whole reason you missed this, by the way, is because you stutter strafe here. By the way, you strafe to like the right for a second, and then back to the left. You don't just solidly hold one way. When you're strafing, especially with the wingman will punish you really hard for it. You have to make sure that you anchor your aim. I like to call it anchoring your aim, where you literally just center on one point and literally just circle around the person, right? Here you're kind of like you're jiggling for no reason. You go back to the right for a second. You don't need to do that at all. Just solidly hold one direction. It's a really small thing, but it will fuck you up with the wingman really badly. It's probably the number one thing people mess up with the wingman. It's why everybody's wingman aim sucks. When people learn to just hold one key and never let go of it, they'll be so much better. But again, it's a small thing in the relative grand scheme of things. You play that really well. You loot fast. This is really good. I like I like a lot of what I'm seeing. You have a lot of fundamentals down, especially when it comes to fighting. You loot really fast. You're ready to get involved in the next fight. You don't overloot. You're in and out, quick, done. You have what you need. You're ready to go fight again.
Yeah, it's something I've definitely been working on.
It's very nice to see. So I want to see how you approach this fight. You both just headshot each other. Okay. What FOV do you play on?
104.
Okay, I was gonna say I can tell. I play on 106. It's the aimer FOV.
Yeah, I'm personally a big fan of the 104. I've swapped from 110 a while back, and I've just been addicted.
Yeah, 110 is like almost too much.
Yeah, it's
in my
a little
opinion.
too much for my liking.
And people play 120 and it drives me insane.
Yeah, Hollow's been playing it recently. It's very weird to watch.
Okay. Backing from the door here is really good. Your movement's a lot more refined than most people I see. Am I here? Okay, good. So I have a question for you. How do you feel about lurching? Do you lurch at all? Are you like a strafe lurch enjoyer at all?
I am trying to learn it a little bit. As you can see, that right there was a failed attempt at a lurch on that caustic.
Hmm.
Um, oh god, this is embarrassing.
It's like that sometimes. Don't worry, I understand. Don't worry, I understand. The guys on the ground, it's weird. Okay, I get it. Don't jump.
Yeah,
Do not jump. You need to
yeah.
not jump. You need to not jump. Lurching obviously comes with the territory of jumping, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Oof. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So if you load this down, right? Um, you're shoving out to the left here. He's going forward here. Uh, yeah. The whole reason you lose this, one, the jump is bad. The jump is bad, especially because when you come out of the jump, right, you're still expecting yourself to have full speed when you come out of the jump, right? Because when you are on the ground, it's better. Though it's always better to be able to change your direction at any time on the ground than be in the air and be able to change your direction for only a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is stream just dying? Mark? Wait, is stream good, guys? Is it my end or is it Twitch's end? Refresh? Or is my stream fucking dying? I want the VOD from this. Refresh? Okay. VOD's like Twitch is dying. I don't think it's my internet. Anyway, right. But the ability to instantly change direction on the ground is much better than the ability to jump in the air and do a little wee wee wee, right? And no matter what, even especially as you come down from the impact of this, you're still expecting yourself to have the ability to fully move to the right, right? Because you over flick on the correction here. Right, because when you land, you have fall stacker, right? No matter what, even it's really small when you jump, but you flick to the right because you expect yourself to go full velocity, right? Oops. The number one thing here especially is when you're strafing, you want to make sure that you always strafe to always control your opponent's area of control as well, right? So if we break down the area that the opponent has here, the opponent has this area to play, right? This is all the area that this guy can effectively strafe in, right? So your crosshair should never have to move anywhere outside of this area, right? When you strafe inward here, you peek out, and then you strafe inward. You do the thing. Like Apex content creator or Apex like coaches will typically say to always play cover, right? And I'm sure that's emblazoned in the back of your mind to always play cover, right? It's important to understand that you should play cover in situations where you need to like isolate and separate fights, right? But in this situation, because you play cover so much, or I don't know if it's because you went to go play cover, or if you want to subconsciously.
Yeah, what happened here was it was just kind of like a subconscious like strafe to the back. In reality, I definitely should have went to the left to cut him off.
Yeah,
to,
because
like,
he now has all this area to manipulate and play around you, right? And you're kind of forced to strafe this way or this way, right?
yeah.
Mm. When you're strafing, you want to make sure you actually control space with your strafing, right? One of my favorite examples that I have is a clip I'll probably show you later, right? And especially also jumping. Also, want to point out that again, like I know, I'm hampering the jumping, but I want to talk about jumping here, especially like your crosshair right here is now just completely fucked because of jumping, right? This can be like fixed a lot in like aim trainers, but also can be fixed by just not jumping, right? It's really important to just make sure you understand how much you miss because you jump, right?
Yeah. No, as soon as I lost that fight, I knew that I threw it from jumping there.
Yeah. It's also just the strafe to the right here is also really bad as well. Because again, like you lose control of all this area. He just walks forward because he doesn't know what he's doing, but he actually manages to outstrafe you by not knowing what he's doing. You know.
Oh yeah, no, you just wingman headshot me after that, and it was over.
Yeah.
This one you can probably speed up a little bit because I landed a little isolated here. There's also a little bit of a like a little bit of a rotate in here as well because it was just oh yeah, I got a kill.
What our name is? Let's go. Okay, Nemesis Wingman. That's disgusting. First off.
How to work with what I had.
Nice. This movement is not bad at all. You're holding the cover here and also moving to deny him the cover he has. The weapon swap is really good here as well. You play to each weapon's strengths. It's just good overall. Especially getting a headshot on the climb up shows really good fundamentals, especially as well. Like you know, like you know where to aim at with the wingman. Okay. What is that guy doing?
I don't know. He kind of confused me a little bit
Yeah,
there.
I know. I
I
can
got
see
a
that. I can
little,
literally see that. Yeah.
just very, very. I got lost there for a second. I was like, all right, let me step back.
Yeah. I can literally definitely see that confusion.
You can probably skip a little bit here because I was trying to bait his. I was trying to like bait the thirst, and he just wasn't doing anything.
When you have a measurable advantage like this, you can just push. You don't have to be so scared. Yeah. Like I know you usually don't play no field duos, right? But even in like a fight, you can just push off this. It's a very considerable measurable advantage. You've taken no damage at all, and he's like you've almost killed him. You did like what
50.
Yeah, 150 to him. That guy's like even that guy gets an armor swap. You still shut on him, right?
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Just don't be so scared.
Yeah, no, that definitely was nerves at play there because I was.
Yes. Those nerves will also show in situations that's like a 1v2 or something like that as well. Are you gonna hit a sick tap strafe? Let's go. Where is this guy at?
I thought I thought I heard him on the roof.
Yeah, I also thought he was on the roof. He probably was. I think he might have dropped.
Yeah, I think he was.
This guy is so lost. Okay, all of that for that. Let's go. Like I made that fight so hard for no reason. Okay.
And then there's a little bit of so you can probably skip probably like 30 seconds here. Yeah, there's right. I pushed over. I forget the name of that POI, but it's when I get to that
Atmos
POI
station?
the fight happens. Yeah.
Yeah, Atmos station. Okay. Let's go here.
Still so unfamiliar with Broken Moon.
Yeah, you have the right idea here. This is fine. This is what you know is fine. This guy is just so clueless. Everything he did there was fine. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's so that breaks my heart to lose. That breaks my heart to lose 100%, right?
It made me so sad.
Yeah. So, I can tell you this guy's just hip firing the wingman and you crouching got you killed. Even though like against good players you should crouch against the wingman, but like this guy's not good. The crouch against the wingman is like one of the worst and best things you can do. Because against bad players, it's so bad, but against good players, it's really good. Because they aim for like the shoulder level. So if you crouch, you go underneath that, right? A lot of what I would say you should do. Do you 1v1 people a lot?
I do. I was playing. I was like grinding Karma 1v1s for a hot minute in R5. I do also 1v1 my friends a little bit, but with the range still being broken, it's kind of
Did they not fix it
annoying
this
to do
season
right
still?
now. It's still where you have to like bleed out
Ugh.
and reload. It's quite miserable to deal with.
It's so annoying. Okay, so the number one thing, especially when it comes to like you're strafing on a general level, like I can tell you know a good bit about strafing, right? The thing is that global bias is a default for dodging, right? Global bias is not a general thing you should do all the time, 100%, right? There's nothing you should do 100% of the time, right? There's nothing that you should do 100% of the time, all the time. Global bias is a default for dodging, right? When we want to, because I mean, obviously, if you strafe one way like this is obviously technically a global bias, right? But global bias is typically referred to as when you change direction like this, right? Like this is typically what people will call global bias, right? But a lot of what you do is it looks like you global bias for dodge when you necessarily want to attack, right? If you are in a situation where there's three reasons why we strafe, right? We attack. Oops, my thing's lagging. We attack. We defend. Why is my thing like exploding? Defend, or we dodge, right? Do you know the difference between these three?
Uh, I I can't say I really know the distinct difference between them now.
Okay. So when it comes to attacking, right? Attacking is we're going to actively attack the opponent's space. We're going to try and take space from the opponent with strafing, right? This is typically a lot of situations where you have the advantage on somebody, or you're trying to establish an advantage on somebody, right? Like you're both equal HP. You're going to strafe in a way that cuts off where you can strafe, so he's like stuck in like a corner or something like that, right?
So, like for example, that Octane
Yeah.
fight from before.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be attacking. Defending is a situation where you're outnumbered and you need to win trades. This is not necessarily dodging, because dodging is trying to avoid damage, right? Dodging is pure dodge. We're not trying to play a geometry. We're not trying to play an objective. Our objective is just to fucking live, right? The situation where it's like you're just being full sent by 3 people. You can't run away, so you're just like doing like weird shit to try and like live, right? Global bias is good as a dodge tactic. It's good as an attack and defend tactic, but it's only good in certain situations, right? Global bias should be a default that you have when you don't necessarily know what they have, right? So, for example, if they have like a peacekeeper, for example, right? You can strafe back and forth like this if you time, because by the time the time to kill in this game isn't high enough to justify something like global bias in some situations, right? Let me show you a clip actually. This clip, right? So this clip is good dodge, but it does not. But it does not enable global bias. You can't hear it, but it's perfectly fine. Oops. Basically, I'm in a 1v2, 1v3 situation like that, right? I have a peacekeeper. I know there's somebody got in here. Obviously, I can see the CRQ now, right? And then he shoots me in the back, right? So my goal right now, this guy is like full HP. I'm 1 HP. I have to dodge every PK shot, right? I know when he's gonna rechamber his gun. I know that just because of playing the game, right? Like I've established enough game knowledge to know that hey, the rechamber time of the PK is average this. I'm going to change my direction when he rechambers, right? This is dodging specifically against a weapon. I dodge here, and then I dodge again at the same time. You see, I don't dodge just when I hit the wall. This one is a little bit closer to when I do hit the wall, because that is the timing of it. But like this first one is way earlier than when I actually did hit the wall, right? And I actually just shield this guy, right? And this is good dodge, but it doesn't use global bias at all, right? I do the same thing twice, right?
Yeah.
Global bias is important for extended fights or fights where you don't have information, right? So if I didn't know what this guy had, I would definitely global bias, because he shot me first with a PK, right? I was like, oh shit, I need to dodge like this, right? So it's important to recognize that it's not what you should always do, but it's what you should do a majority of the time, right? Right here in this situation, you're going for an attack, right? You have a I think you perceived it to be a bigger advantage than it actually is, right? Because you threw arc stars, you did some damage, but it's not a lot, because arc stars suck ass now, which is kind of off-putting. But you're pushing in on a perceived advantage, right? You should cut this wraith off here, right? You should focus on cutting people off and not just dodging, right? So do you know what the goal of strafe aiming is?
I can't really put it into words, but I kind of like understand the concept of it.
The whole point of strafe aiming is to maximize how much damage we can do.
Yeah.
Right. We aim with strafing in either anti-mirroring or mirroring to excuse me. We strafe aim to maximize our damage and how much we can deal, right? We use positioning and strafing to cut off opponents, right? And so I feel like there's somewhat of a mixed is the word dichotomy in kind of what we do here, right? Because right here, the objectively correct play would be to cut this wraith off, right? Cut her off, cut how much area she has off, because if we cut her off, like right here, right? If we cut off right here, we have high ground. we have high ground. She has no cover at all. We have this cover and the high ground like right here, right? We can strafe if she comes out here, we usually just strafe up here and have this like cover, right? And she doesn't have anything, right? She can drop down, but even then, she's even in a worse position, and she has the pressure of ring, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, so and here you lose because you default more to an aim duel rather than a I wouldn't say a strafe duel, but more so you rely on your aim here more than anything else, right? And obviously she gets lucky, which is unfortunate. Like we can't really say much about that. But if you put yourself in a much more favorable position, you would have been less likely to lose there, right? Back to attack, dodge, defend, or attack, defend, dodge, right? Attack is we're going to actively take space away from our opponent. We're going to deny them area. So right here, going in for this, going in to play this to like take this away from her would be an attack, right? A defend would be a situation where we want to hold ground or maybe give up ground to trade to win damage trades, right? Damage dealt and damage received affect each other, right? So if I'm trying to deal maximum damage, right? Chances are I can receive maximum damage, right? If you're hard ADSing and you're mirroring somebody, for example, because mirroring maximizes our damage output, right? If we're going to mirror somebody, we're at maximum damage output, but so is the enemy, right? It's really easy to aim. It's really easy to be able to actually inflict damage on your opponent, right? And the more we skew this relationship, the more dodge we're implementing, right? Because if we're moving side to side, if we're moving like really erratically, we're moving like kind of crazy. We're employing good dodge techniques for our opponent. It's also harder for us because we're relatively throwing ourselves across the screen a lot, right? So, does that make sense? That this whole relationship makes sense to you?
Sense to me.
Huh?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You cut out. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Right. So defending is a situation where we skew it a little bit more towards where we skew it in a certain way to actually hold space better, right? We can defend we can defend in a way that either holds space like this, so where we're like, hey, like for example, if we're here with a PK, right? Then we jiggle peek the corner, and then we come back in. Then we jiggle peek the corner, and we come back in, right? Again, there's no global bias being held here, but it's still good strafe with our weapon, right? We're maximizing our damage output and minimizing damage input because we're jiggle peeking with the PK, right?
Yeah.
and that would be that would be defending, right? Because it relies on the enemies to attack you and push you for you to be able to do it, right? Attacking would be something more like wide swinging somebody, right? We need to be able to wide swing people and not rely on cover, right? Because if we can only rely on cover, we're so limited in how we can actually approach fights, right? Because if there's a guy right here and this guy's a PK and we're here and we have like an R99, if we're going to attack him, we need to send him, right? Because if we play like if we play like a poke game, we don't like attack, we don't fully attack. This guy has the advantage because he's defending, right, in a favorable position, right? And dodge again is the act of like dodging when you don't have the ability to play cover, you don't have the ability to play areas. You want to just dodge, and that's just living for as long as possible. Your damage output will probably be heavily affected unless you pop off or they suck, right? Sorry about my cough. When it comes to dodge, you're going to be minimizing your damage output just to try and live, unless you pop off or something like that, right? And we're not going to just stick to these attack forms. We're not going to just go, okay, this fight we're attacking, right? We're going to swap in between all three as seems needed in a fight, right? Because if our plan is to attack and we try and take space, then we realize, hey, there's two people here or something like that, we can go dodge to actually initiate a defense, right? We can dodge to buy time until we can get to position to defend, right? And then once we go into defense, if we get like a control advantage, we can attack from our defensive spot, right?
Yeah.
We go in and out of all of these different modes of tactics when pressing W, A, S, and D, which is crazy to think about, but also really good to understand, right? Do you have questions?
Reason why I like FPSs so much.
Same. This is the reason why I like high time to kill FPSs.
Yeah, I can't stand stuff like COD anymore.
I
This
can't
stuff
either.
is just so interesting.
Do you have any questions about anything that I mentioned?
No, I think I got a pretty good understanding of that.
Okay. This is just like school, but it's actually interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, global bias is really good for really extended long fights. Do you play LG duels at all? Or know of like anything like that?
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
Not really much because I don't really have like when like Shaft Night goes on and everything. I don't really get on at the time when there's a lot of like people on
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
So
understandable. Yeah, I'm more so just bringing it up for the concept of global bias is really good in those games because a fight in an LG duel with Vamp on lasts like how long? Like it can last like 40 seconds, right? It can
yeah,
like it can last a long time. And global bias is way more important for that because of the because of one human reaction time, human error, readability, stuff like that, right? So, when you're in a fight, especially when strafing, because you seem to have the fundamentals down of knowing about like goal bias, knowing about dodge, knowing about stuff like that, I want you to specifically focus on intending to attack or defend or dodge, okay? And shifting your intention throughout it, right? So this situation, you have a perceived advantage. You should be attacking here, right? And I already kind of mentioned how you should be attacking here, right? You should be, walking forward, denying her space.
yeah.
Sam mentioned it in his guide, I think. I think he said it here, and I'm gonna quote him because it's really, um, yeah. When fighting a weaker opponent, I often experience a sense of mind control. I see as if I decide what my opponent will do just the instant before he does, and he surely does anything I haven't pre-decided. Right? This is attacking, defending, stuff like that. Is like this. This is where it comes from. This is the whole concept of that. You won't experience this mind control effect if you're dodging to dodge, right? Where we can strafe to dodge, we can also strafe to maximize damage, we can also strafe to punish opponents and like kind of crowd them in certain areas, right? Um, and again, you lose the fight because the guy gets kind of lucky and he's just letting fucking wingman shots rip, and you crouch into it, right?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It's just a GG go next moment.
Yeah. C7 and Celine had a duel that lasted for 3 minutes. What the fuck? Oh my god, dude, I would die. Do you find yourself with the ability to strafe against multiple enemies at once or no?
I can't say that I really do have like a good idea about that quite yet, just because it's not something I really like
yeah.
notice in the moment.
Yeah, it's hard to like break down and know, but it depends a lot on your map knowledge because you don't have how many hours do you have in Apex?
1300.
Yeah, not a lot, but you have really good
Yeah, I don't.
mechanics. What have you played before Apex? Because I know you played another game before this game.
Yeah, I came from. I started with CS:GO,
How many hours?
for 1300 in CS.
Okay.
And then I went to Fortnite,
Fortnite.
which I have probably around about. I'd say I probably have close to 2K in Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went pretty much straight to Apex. I don't think I really had anything in between Fortnite. Yeah, I think I just went straight from Fortnite to Apex.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so you have like 4K, 4.5K hours in FPS games, really.
Yeah.
That makes sense considering your skill level. You're definitely a little bit ahead of people of your typical time frame, but it makes a lot of sense. Also, again, the Thunder Strafe you do here is not good. If you're going, it's only not good because you stop, right? Because this is a good form to do if you're trying to enable recoil smoothing, right? Because recoil smoothing lets us shoot at a fine point, right? It gives us no recoil. It's basically the same as jitter aiming with like less perceived effects, right? But recoil smoothing lets us move, which is really important. I don't know if you jitter aim or like, oh, you're in Hollow Stream a good bit, right? I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen him jitter aim and get fried for trying
Oh,
to jitter
yeah.
aim because he's standing still and he's like, well,
Yeah.
what do I? And he knows that he's goofing around, right? But recoil smoothing lets us shoot on a precise point, but we have to be fluid with our movement because it requires a 3-degree actuation constantly of our mouse to move back and forth. So we always have to be moving like this. We can't stop. We can't go like this and kind of stop and then keep going. You have to keep it really fluid. Okay. And it would have been fine, but moving here is a little bit rough. But your position here is fine. Good recoil control. Nothing crazy. Yeah, especially since you're a student in the Discord. I assume I'll be working with you next month as well.
Yeah.
Rank clips would also be really good. I want to see you strafe against good players, not like
Yeah.
bots. Because
I
you could
this
jump
was
against
this was on very like last minute.
yeah
These games were just for today, but I'll definitely be more
yeah
prepared for next month.
yeah that's fine. Good.
Oh, it was this game.
You could jump in front of these people and they would not know what's happening.
Yeah.
They would get lucky and kill you, but
Yeah. So what happened here? Because this one was a little. So I see that dang or there, and I thought that it was the duo to the guy I just fried. Hence, what put me in this situation.
wow.
And I was just kind of
Yeah. So even in a situation where you this is much less of a strafe problem and more so of just a game sense problem.
yeah.
It definitely comes from I think not playing enough Apex. In a situation like this, one you don't have to use jump pad, but two, something you do, you want to land on the on the roof or on the inside, right? The biggest thing you never want to try and enter an area with no info, right? This will be I'm gonna go over this a little bit briefly because let's focus more on the main goal of like strafe and stuff like that, right? But if we look at the area that you control, right? So we're going to consider every area we don't have information on, area that they control, right? So you control like this whole upper part here, right? This is all yours. There's if they walk in here, you kill them and they die, right? This like middle area right here, I would say, is pretty contested, right? Because there was a guy over here, right? And there's a guy over
Yeah.
here, and you don't really know that the other guy's over here, right? So let's not include that. Considering the information you know, this whole middle area is contested, right? They can shoot you, you can shoot them. No one can really walk for free in this area, right? You can use the zipline to get in there and like use cover to break it up, and you do use your pad to skip this middle area, right? You never really want to try and enter the area that an opponent controls without being 100% sure about where they are, right? Because we don't have information, right? If we had information, for example, if you were looking down from high ground and like if these walls weren't here and you could see, then it would have been a perfectly fine play, right? Because you could see, right? You never want to full send without an escape. You never really want to full send into an area without cover when you don't have information, right? Again, I said earlier that people like play cover too much. You need to play cover when you don't know things, right? Or it's the optimal play to play the cover, right? Like PK peeking, right? Stuff like that. Just try not to send in an try not to send in an area where you don't know, like where you can't see, right? Because right here you realize, oh shit, there's two of them, right?
Yeah.
If you landed on the roof here, especially, or if you landed on like the ledge here, or like you tap strafe to the ledge, or whatever, you could also have been up there and had high ground, right?
Yeah.
There's like two different places you could have gone to kill this guy, and you die around the corner, which is unfortunate, but just try not to enter areas where they have no information on. Unless you know where everybody is, because you know where everybody is, you have the information by deduction, right? Because you know if you know where the other person is, like guaranteed. But that guy was so far away that it was kind of dangerous, especially because you thought that they were on the same team. This duos especially. You said you don't play a lot, no Phil, but it's when people are really split apart.
This is like probably my second or third time ever playing no fill.
Fair enough.
It's not something I
when you
do at all.
pubs, do you solo or do you stack?
Normally if I'm pubbing, it's duo trios.
Okay. I'd recommend if you want to have fun, I'd recommend if you want to have fun and still have a challenge, no fill trios with a friend is so really fun.
Yeah, that's I normally play with my one friend and do that.
That's really fun.
Yeah, that's normally our go-to because it's a little less brain dead than just like playing duos and running it down.
Duos is like two pred players holding hands the entire time with the 30,000 kills each, or it's like
these people.
Yeah. I didn't want to say children, but like children.
Yeah. There's like little Timmy who just got home from school and just wants to hop on for some Apex.
God, have you ever, dude? I started playing filled duos again recently. That shit is crazy. They're the weirdest people.
Yeah, they are very weird. Apex players are just interesting.
They're interesting. I prefer the interesting that they are over like Overwatch randoms. Like
yeah.
Right. I want to say that here, right? So when should you mirror an opponent? Do you know the answer to that?
When I have the damage advantage, or when I have the health advantage.
Let's not use health as a term, and let's use a time to kill advantage, right? Because
Yeah.
health doesn't necessarily mean an advantage time to kill. We can, because if you have like white armor and like a sentinel, and I have red armor, or sorry, if I have white armor and an R9, and you have red armor and a sentinel, I can probably still mirror you, right? Because I have an R9, you have a sentinel, right? Um, but anytime you have advantage in time to kill, you should just mirror people. Stop jumping. Jumping is only really good in really close range, or around like corners and stuff like that. You do mirror this guy kind of, but your jumping just kind of like literally throws you off, and that's it. Like you miss like one shot initiating the mirror, and then yeah, because you jump. So stop freaking jumping. But other than that, this door. That is good strafe. So you also said you're interested in, you're like interested in learning lurching, right?
Yeah, it's something that I'm trying to learn, and I just kind of very much whiff it. Like, that jump there was me trying to, like, do a little lurch backwards kind of into the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
or, like, lurch right back into it, but I missed my inputs, and...
I can pull you in the range and show you stuff about lurching if you'd like to help you.
Yeah, that would be... I'd definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, and
Very helpful.
I can show you how to lurch properly.
Because I was, like, practicing it, like, watching Zeto's guide and everything, but it's still just, like, very complicated.
Zeto is very smart, and Zeto knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about. And Zeto uses his lurching really well.
Yeah.
And I talk about why he does it and how he does it really well. So this fight is honestly, there's not like too much to like look at here, because
Yeah,
this
I
is,
just kind of fell over.
yeah, they're like there's a guy behind you somehow apparently, and you didn't hear him, and then like you're like, and you go to take to fight this guy, and it's like, oh wait, okay, you got shot. It's like, it's so, you get so shit on by this guy. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah,
The jump here.
0.6 Masters player.
Wait, is this guy on console? Is that why?
Yeah, there's a 0.6er.
Oh, that makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, let's go next. All right.
Yeah, now I saw the Discord symbol. I was like, all right, we go.
Hi, Bloom. You land here very well too. This is a good loot path. Dahmer Gaming 24. What was he streaming?
I didn't look.
They never are.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of got to the point where I stopped looking because half the
It's
time they haven't streamed in like 3 years.
Oh my god, dude! They either haven't streamed in 3 years, or like when Twitch changed the setting to have the VOD automatically off, dude, it makes me so sad. Good send. I like the send. Okay. You know that Arnon's better than Karna, right?
Yeah, I just had no
preference?
ammo.
Okay, fair enough.
I had no ammo. I 100% run the R9 over the car now, but
fair enough.
that the pause on the box there was me like, do I have enough to keep running this?
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't realize you had no light. How do you get damaged here? What happens here?
Tried pushing.
And then they're just holding the angle smile.
And,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Luckily, they got thirded, so I was able to get out. I just kind of spent a little time here waiting for the third to do a bit of damage and waiting for my pad to come up. I was waiting for a knock or something.
Yeah, I figured. This is fine. You're healing. Had to roof. Okay, this is a good example of attacking, by the way. you want to actively deny this high risk, because if you continue fighting right here, you die, right? And I'm pretty sure you recognize that, because this guy's high ground. You are on the kind of the slope. It's harder for you to aim upward than it is for him to aim downward. Here, this is a good example of attacking. You have to take damage here to deal damage. Like, don't get me wrong, you do take this damage, and there's not really a way to mitigate this damage, other than like this guy being worse, right? But like you kind of have to walk up here to kill this guy. You could run away, but. And then this is a good example of defending, right? This is very nice. You take this fight literally perfectly. You take this fight very, very well. This is basically how I would recommend most people play it. Play the cover. You can't really get time to reset, so you just peek like this. This is very good. I like this a lot. And it's a really good way to showcase attacking versus defending here. You guys are still here. You're on 23 ping that hits you like that. That's insane.
Yeah, I did. I was
Jesus
very
Christ.
confused at how that just ripped me like that as well. Like, I was editing this together, and I was like, how did I get fried like that? This was just...
Yeah, this was not...
PK moment.
This is also, when you go to initiate a fight, you want to try and reset as much as possible. This is already a disadvantage. This is already a disadvantage. It just advantageous fight to take when you're not already healed, right? Because you can still hold this roof and still heal, and then they come to push you. You can defend your space, right? But it's hard. But it's hard for you to commit to like an attack here, right? Because even if you 110 pumper, she still lives, right? She's like she can still kill you really easy.
I think it was just the fact that I saw Watson and got a little bloodthirsty because I have a personal vendetta against them.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Why is your room so dark? This feels darker than normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I got hit with an arc star there, and it just kind of exploded a little bit. My game did. So this
So like right
this
here.
was a very fun drop.
Yeah, you have a P20 with a purple mag. It's like this is a good armor swap.
I should have just run away right there though without re-challenging that.
Oh, he tickles you, so you dead slide.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about that dodge in a minute. Oh, I want to see how the rest of this plays out.
This goes into... This is a reset here. I don't wind up fighting that Mirage again. I wind up going to the east of Frag into the little cluster of buildings.
Mm-hmm. So overall, right, this dodge here, right? This dodge. Does this dodge enact global bias?
No.
But does it work?
Yes.
Yes, that's the important thing. Dodging, it does not matter how dog shit your dodging is. If it works, right? If your dodging is really bad and it works, hey, it works, right? A higher level opponent will punish you for it, right? So it's important to understand that if, once you did, if you're in a situation, right, and you take, and since this guy misses those shots, dude, you keep doing it, it's good. That's really good to do. A better opponent probably would have, hit a shot, but that doesn't really matter. It's speculative. It's speculative value from that, right? Because we can see here and theorize all day about how a better player would hit that, but the reality of it is that this guy didn't hit that. Keep doing it, right? If you were hitting the dumbest, longest strafe possible and it's working, do that, right? If the guy's not hitting you at all, do that. But the moment the guy starts hitting you, like if this guy hit like a 30 pump or something like that on you, and like he doesn't outright kill you, right? If he doesn't outright kill you here, and you keep doing like strafes, right? It's like change your strafe immediately, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't hit you again. But he really wasn't hitting you. You got way too many second, third, fourth chances there by not running away.
Yeah.
But hey, it worked. It
very
worked,
lucky
right?
there.
You got very lucky, and you were almost in rhythm with his massive shots. If your strafes were like a smidgen longer, you would have been in rhythm with them, but it was good enough, right?
Yeah.
No matter. You just still do not have a gun. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I was just scrounging for anything at that point. Found myself an R9 and
What are you doing? What is she? She's not. That horizon is not real.
yeah.
What the fuck? Please grab that. Oh my god. You're gonna die to this guy, aren't you?
I actually don't die to these guys.
Oh, good.
I die to another bot squad.
Yippee!
Nothing like getting walked out with a mastiff.
Very good break with the angle there. Nice, very good. It's a lifeline. It's a lifeline you have to attack here. You don't really have an option. That was such a good mirror. That was so good. That was perfect. This was really, really good. So one, talk about what's good here, right? You break the peak because you're being shot by two people, right? You hold this angle because obviously they're gonna try and push you. They're playing like that. You hold this angle. You almost one clipper. Killer. You don't need to push forward here.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you don't need to do. The only thing you need to do is not push forward here because if we analyze this 1v1, you've done question mark damage to her, like not a lot. You've been cracked, right? So you want to continue to hold this position and punish her again. You only need to push when she starts like resting or whatever, but she just does not care and just pushes you. You hold a really good defensive angle here. Mirror her, easy, very, very, very clean. You can even mirror when you have a disadvantage, right? You don't necessarily need advantage in time to kill because in itself, initiating a mirror does also give you an advantage, right? Because they have to react to your mirror and start hitting shots backwards, right? Or back to you, not backwards, back to you. Right. So it's important to understand that mirror aiming is just really good, and you obviously understand by using that here. Very good. Even if it's only for like a split second, like you weave in a mirror, and then if she didn't die, you were gonna break the mirror.
And I think that you could just, it's a little bit, I wind up in like, there's one fight in construction, and then...
Okay, is this a zipline bullshit battle, or is this like an actual thing?
It's an actual battle. I'm really bad with zip lines, so
I'm not surprised by your error count. There's not really mechanics in other games that translate to zipline battles.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn zipline stuff in R5, but I'm just not very good at it yet.
Yeah, I can see that. No offense, but I can see that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, this guy chases you, just kill him. I like how much you hit fire. I like seeing that a lot, especially.
My movement just got like so clunky in this fight.
Super glide. Catch the drop down. Okay, you're looking at least. That's good. Where are the people in my games, dude? What the hell? Am I these people? Oh, it's really funny. Most people ask that, like, where are the where are the bots in my lobby? And it's like, man, you are them. It's like, man, I don't do that. That's perfect. Did these guys even heal at all from any damage you did them at any point in the game?
I think they
ever healed at all.
The fuse healed his shield up, but I think that's really about it. That Octane also healed like his shield, but no health.
I think the number one thing here, so you didn't get punished for this, but this could obviously be improved. So like that peak is fine. Drop down, that peak is fine, right? When you're peeking this guy here, I want you to strafe target to the left, even though it breaks the idea of cover, right? We want it's cover is only valuable if you use it to deny damage, right? But in us walking out here, not only are we walking to our next way to actually break cover over here, we're also denying sky cover, which also denies him the ability to defend against damage, right? Because if you do damage to him, he can go in the cover, right? And you pushing him that way is way harder than you pushing him through like walking this way, right? And getting an angle on him, right? Especially because you also walk towards the door here. Don't just look, because if you're breaking cover, if you're breaking cover from somebody, you can also see that as getting cover for yourself, right? Because you're equalizing the field, right? You play cover to deny damage. This guy plays cover to deny damage. But if you deny his cover, you're both equal. You're both equal playing ground right now, right? Especially if you feel confident. Especially because this is a pub, right? This is a
Yeah.
pub. You don't. It's this guy's dog shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the mindset you go into this. You know you're better than like 90% of players in this game, right? Um, Especially like with how you play, it's very good to be confident. You want to you want to equalize the field. You want to come over here. And then this also gives you a better escape route, because in here you're trapped, right? Relatively speaking, you're trapped if you're in here. You have to run out this way, and I mean you do. This guy comes in, your movement gets fucked. You take a lot of damage on the zipline, right? If
Yeah.
you strafed to the zipline earlier, you would have taken less damage. You would have denied this guy this angle. You would have been able to inflict more damage to this guy. He wouldn't have been able to deny it really. And if he was trying to deny it, he would inherently do less damage, right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have to make one speedy burst to the zipline rather than like making like a concentrated strafe aim effort to the zipline, right?
Yeah.
And then this guy is a guy that takes the zipline straight up. And this guy, you absolutely murder him.
And then I think the other fight winds up at Diner across the way.
Very nice. Very good reset to height. I like this a lot. And I assume you lose this last fight.
Yeah. I got folded by Mirage Res.
Oh great, what an awesome mechanic.
Yeah. I really should have just went aggro on that guy.
Yeah, you don't have batteries here. It's really dangerous because they get to reset twice as fast as you, right? With two
Yeah.
people. They reset twice as fast as you, and when they reset twice as fast as you, they're gonna and this guy's gonna dump shit here. Yeah, the Mastiff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, this is really you're playing you're playing in your weapons effective range, but it's also his weapons effective range. There's not really a way to take this fight in a way that's really good, right?
Yeah.
Because if you space close to him, he has a Mastiff. If you space further away from him, there you can't. You you climb up like the only appropriate play here would be to just literally drop down, right, or finish resetting rather than actually.
Yeah.
But strafe wise, there's not really too much to say here about this.
Yeah.
There's not really too much to say about strafe there. If you want to add me on Steam, here I'm gonna send you my friend code, and then I will add you on Steam, and I'll talk to you a little bit about lurching to finish up the session. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
The thing about the number one thing I want you to understand is that global bias is a default when we don't know what to do, and understand the difference between attacking, defending, stuff like that, right? You want to geometrically deny your opponent's space, right?
Yeah.
And things like that. I DM'd you my friend code.
I sent you an invite.
What the fuck is ZA? Is that like? Is that like
Zojirushi aim?
I see it all the time in Hollow's chat, and please enlighten me.
So basically, Sherp, who is a regular in Hollow's chat.
Yeah, I know who Sherp is.
He one day said to Hollow, "When are you gonna make?" Because Hollow was talking about his rice cooker, which is a Zojirushi.
That's what that stands for. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Sherp was like, when are you gonna make the Zojirushi aim group?
Oh,
and then it kind of became a meme for a little bit, and then he wound up making a Twitter for it. And
Sherp or Hollow?
Sherp.
Okay, I was like, no way Hollow did that. I know that. Yeah. There's no way he fucking that would be blown away.
Yeah. So there's just a there's a Twitter for it now and all that stuff, and it just kind of became a giant little meme in his community, and a few of us are keeping it strong still. So
see, you're a brave warrior.
Yes.
Clan ZA. Luke's not on top.
At this rate, Glucan and ZA are gonna have to start some Twitter beef or something.
Dude, let's make benchmarks. Let's go. Alright. Two things. One, have you seen strafe tools in Apex? By the way, have you done strafe tools in Apex at all?
What do you mean by like strafe duels?
It's a way to emphasize strafe specifically. It's like we both grab alternators with that are fully kitted. Purple laser sight.
I forgot that I
like
don't have to grab ammo now.
I grab stacks of ammo by just muscle memory, and then red armor, red armor and all that. I use this as a way to talk about, because the alternator is the best gun. It's the best tracking gun with the lowest or the highest time to kill, right? The alternator kills really slowly, so it gives you the most. It gives you the largest ability to strafe, right? To actually practice strafing, right? So when it comes to lurching, right? So one, you can do like this, right? You can do like the raw strafe, right?
Yeah.
So the important thing to know about strafing, right? So this, like strafe lurching, is a purely dodge technique, right? This is a purely dodge technique, and purely dodge techniques are used to mitigate like a lot of damage, right? At the cost of being able to not deal a lot of damage, right? Unless there's a huge skill difference or you play really well, right? So and like it's way better. It's way better and hypothetical to always just if you keep trying around, strafe aim people instead, right? Because jumping has a really big influence on your aim, because if you jump, you have to aim down and then up again. Keep your crosshair centered, right? But one thing that lurching does, right? So are you familiar with the concept of movement acceleration?
Yeah, I have a pretty decent concept of the general movement mechanics of the game.
Yeah, like the raw mechanic, like the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number one approach for lurching is lurching lets us mitigate moving acceleration entirely, right? Because if I have to turn to slow down like this, right? Because every time I change direction, I have to slow down for a small period, and that's the period that makes me vulnerable, right? If I instead opt to do this instead, I don't have a period of slowdown, right?
Yeah.
And additionally, this also lets me space closer to my opponent. So if I want to get closer to you, I can do this on every turn and do this, right? Side-to-side strafes like this are really bad in Apex because of movement acceleration and because of also because of aim assist. But
yeah,
side-to-side movement like this is really bad in Apex because of movement acceleration. In Overwatch, you can get away with this to a pretty decent extent, right? Because the character fully moves into the animation of moving right to left. And they move a lot more, right? So the number one reason why people think strafe lurching is good, and they don't know this, is because it completely mitigates moving acceleration, right? So if I do this, right, I'm basically doing the same thing, but I'm a lot harder. I'm a lot faster, right? I'm a lot faster and a lot harder to hit, right? So this is the number one reason for strafe lurching. It's really good to always strafe. It's always good to strafe lurch in a specific direction, right? So if I want to strafe lurch at you like this is a really good way for taking space and getting closer to you, right? Because you're already vulnerable when moving forward, right? Because if I want to get closer to you, I can't just do this, right? I also can't really move forward at all like this at you because I am prospectively moving slower, right? And walking at you, so I'm becoming a way bigger target in like two ways, right? So, but if I need to space closer to you from a weapon range like that, like I have a shotgun, you have an SMG, and I just need it closer to you, you have to be vulnerable at any point anyway. So it's good to do this to break up your strafe slumber like this, right? If you're in a space somewhere, you have to do it like piece by piece like this, right? This is how I recommend most students to actually do it. You can't just walk forward. You can't really walk diagonally at somebody because they can easily just go to the side and then now you're walking a straight line, right? So you have to break it up like this, right? Like move like this. But this takes time, and you don't have time in this game to do that often, right? And like a laser gun duel, you do, but in this you absolutely do not. So it's really good for breaking up space and taking up space. It's also really good in areas like this, right? So, are you? Do you you aim, right?
Yeah.
Actually, right. So imagine we're 1v1ing, right? And I'm here, right? Where am I gonna go? This way, right? This way, right? Because if I walk forward, I'm walking at you. If I walk backward, I mean, obviously, this is something you can't account for. But walking backward is a lot easier than tracking me if I'm going at maximum relative speed to you, right?
Yeah.
However, you can use strafe lurching like this to extend the effective area that you have to strafe, right? No one's gonna expect this, by the way. No one actually expects this at all, right? If you strafe lurch, you can effectively extend your strafe area very geometrically by how far you can actually move. This is something that nobody does.
Yeah, one of
Um,
my friends, he's like a movement demon, so I 1v1 him a lot, so I'm very familiar with that
yeah,
concept.
yeah, right. And so the thing about this is that this is if you stand like right here. Right? So when we are strafing, right, the worst place to be is right here in front of my crosshair, right? When we're moving, the whole goal of what we're trying to do is trying to move out of the opponent's crosshair, right? Obviously, you're fighting for me to put me in your crosshair, right? But
Yeah,
what this allows us to do is allows us to go in space that our opponent can't move and contest in, because you can't contest me in the air, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Jump at me? Like dolphin dive me, right? You can't do that, right? Um, but if I strafe like this, I can get behind you way easier, right?
yeah,
Because again, we're ignoring movement acceleration. If I'm going this way and I change this way, moving acceleration gives you a grace period to catch up and catch up with me, right? But if we
yeah,
completely ignore that, like I'm literally losing you in an example where I'm trying to show you where where it works, right?
yeah,
Um, it's really good for that reason. And again, lurching like this is bad. This is not good, right? Because what am I doing? I'm just jumping.
yeah,
Right? The ability to instantly change your direction is really good. It's way better than the ability to change your direction in the air for a short period of time, right?
yeah,
The professional term for this is being in their walls. Yeah. But like this is way better, right? Because I'm transmuting
yeah,
myself across your screen a lot more, right? So if I can strafe lurch like this in your face, you have no idea what's going on, like at all, right? It's way harder to keep track of me, and if you're shooting me, you're shooting like my feet, right?
yeah,
It's also good to do. Jumping's bad because it's predictive, but they can't predict what you're doing, right? Because if you're holding this corner like this against me, right? If you're holding the corner like right there, or yeah, peek out, you're like this is obviously really easy to hit,
yeah,
right? But if I do like, oops, like a fatigue wall bounce like this, obviously that's really good to do, right? And even on a minor level like this, even on a minor level, like a jump like this is fine to do, like in a doorway. Like
yeah,
if you have a shotgun, you can just go boom in a doorway. It's really good to do, and that's mostly how jumping should be used, right? Does all that make sense?
yeah,
So you can use strafe lurch as a way to mitigate movement acceleration, but you shouldn't use it all the time, right? Because if you do this all the time, you put yourself in danger of one being red every time. Because if you do this every time, you change direction. Well, they know what you're gonna do, right?
yeah,
But if you reach like the edge of if you realize you're like, hey, I'm gonna reach the edge of a wall, I need to actually change my direction. You can either do this like off the edge if it's like a cliff, or you can just do it early, right? You can change direction early with using a strafe lurch, right?
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah, you never want to strafe lurch at medium ranges like this. The only time you do is like for this, like I said, to space closer to your opponent, right? It's always better to and if you're going to strafe lurch into someone's face, so obviously we can do it backward like this. We can do it backward. We can do a backwards view like this. We can do a forward view like this, right? There's different uses for each. If we're trying to displace ourselves relative to the opponent, we want to do it forward like this, right? If we already have good spacing to the opponent, we want to do this. If we have bad spacing to our opponent, for example, like our opponent has like like an SMG, this one is way better, right? Because we throw off our opponent by doing a like diagonal backwards, which is really hard to hit in a lot of situations, right? And then we readjust it forward like this, which will get us at your angle, right? When we're strafing, think of it like boxing, right? When people are boxing, they don't look at each other and go, "I'm punching you straight.
yeah.
I'm punching you straight." They're going in for like a side jab. They come in this way. They come this way. Boom, like this.
I actually do Muay Thai, so I have a pretty good concept.
That's awesome.
Of that. Yeah,
That is awesome. Apply that.
I actually use my game knowledge of stuff to help me with that, and I kind of go vice versa.
Legitimate battle tactics work in a video game, dude.
Yeah, that's it's actually I've noticed quite a jump in improvement since I started doing that, and it's been quite insane to make the comparisons between the two.
There's literally parallels between actual literal in-game strafing and real life strafing,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say. I watched a good amount of martial arts to watch strafing techniques, especially too, to make this comparison. I want to make sure it was an accurate comparison, right? And it is, right? Because I'm gonna aim for like your weak parts. Because I can't. The chances of me getting behind you in a fight are really low, right? Unless you do something extremely crazy. But like I can still get at your sides and shit like that, right? You still have to adjust to my crosshair and shit like that. Sons use the art of war. I can't vouch for that. I haven't read that yet. But does that make sense? You want to strafe lurch at somebody to space closer to them, and strafe lurch backwards like this in a circle. For weapons like SMGs and stuff like that. This also works for shotguns as well because you're strafing backwards. But obviously, against shotguns, it's just a good rule of thumb to never jump in general, because shotguns require 1 moment of weakness to click on you, right? For massive damage. So it's really bad to just kind of strafe lurch against shotguns at all. But it is good to kind of do this against shotguns because like with the seer, right, where I kind of like went like back and forth in rhythm with pumps, you can do that with strafe lurching as well. You're just a little bit, you're just more vulnerable, and I don't think it's really super worth it. But I would definitely like use this against like fully automatic weapons. It's way better against fully automatic weapons, which is the majority of the weapons that people use nowadays, right?
Yeah.
And also don't do this against the wingman. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have a question about strafe lurching?
No, I don't really think that covers most of like the applications of it for like the basics.
And like a strafe like this has valid use again, but like you have to deal with strafe lurching. If you have jump fatigue, also you know what jump fatigue is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So strafe lurching with jump fatigue is way better than strafe lurching without jump fatigue, because if you do it without jump fatigue, you're in the air for so long. If you do it with jump fatigue, you're in the air for a very small period of time, and allows you to stop doing acceleration way better, right? Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any? Excuse me. Do you have any questions about anything? Like anything at all strafe related?
Not anything that I can really think of off the top of my head right now.
Okay. I want to 1v1 you and see how well you actually respond to attacking and defending. Because I don't know how many people you 1v1 that actually know about strafe or know about attacking defending.
I probably just one, being the one friend who is very good at movement.
Yeah, but it's also important to know that necessarily being good at movement is necessarily being good at strafing. They're kind of
he's
different ideas.
Like, he's just genuinely really good at the game and concepts of everything.
Fair enough.
So
I'll ping, and then you ping, and then we both ping. We'll go together. So you see how? Okay, well, one, your aim is better than mine. So on paper, if we had the same aim, it'd be different. But you see how I stuffed you right here?
yeah.
I stuffed you into this corner. You could not move out of this corner until there was like a slight miscalculation on my end, and you managed to slip by like this, right?
Yeah.
You always want to make sure that when you're playing against opponents, you want to force them into positions like this, right? Because my aiming for me was really easy here. Like again, I'm experiencing mind control. You can't move at all. If you can move, I'm gonna mirror you. I'm literally gonna mirror you and stop you from going anywhere, right? Let's go ahead and go again.
Making contact with enemy.
Okay, you shot me there.
I'm back. You miss me?
Oh yeah, I have to fucking die.
Yeah. I can't
Does it
wait till
reload
they
your
fix
You
this.
should try a different path.
Me too.
Yeah, reload your guns if you die, but if you live, it doesn't.
You never want to come up like that, by the way.
Yeah.
In a situation, do you know what to do in that situation?
Probably should. Not really, honestly. Can't say.
Okay, so this is also a strafe thing. This has to do with perspective. If you're here, right, I'm going to when it comes to cover, I want to deny cover from you in the utmost ways possible, right? So if we're going to look at the advantages of high ground has the ability to peek over and get cover as soon as possible, right? When I'm looking down at you like this, you have cover for like your legs. If you back up, the cover extends to like your chest and below, right? So we want to deny that advantage the most as possible. So to deny the advantage, we're going to come underneath like this. And if you peek over, you're fully exposed, right? I can see your chest and your head pretty easily. You have to look down, so your character model is physically looking down, so your head's extended beyond your feet, right?
Yeah.
And not only this, but I'm also moving really fast down here, right, compared to how I am like normally. Because I'm back here, I'm easier to hit, right? If I'm down here, not only is this the awkward angle of aiming, right, like that weird 360s like circle aim, right? I don't know what the term is called, but like it's a lot harder for you to aim. You basically have to strafe aim me, and that's it, right? And if I'm going to take this opportunity and I beam you, I can also just do like. I also just do like a fatigue jump and like bounce up here like this, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're on the edge here. I've had 1v1s where people I'll like fall down here by accident. The person will come over and I'll literally fatigue jump over them and then go behind them. and then this person's just fucked, right? I just cut them off.
Yeah, fatigue bounces are still something that I'm still trying to get a hang on.
There's something. It takes practice, but like, I have like a counter in my head that I can tell when I have fatigue or not, and I can jump. It just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Making contact with enemy.
I got caught on the ledge. Oh. I got caught on the ledge there. Oh, you picked the same legend. Oh, it heals you.
Next time, you should try a different path.
Yeah, you can pick the same legend now, which is nice.
Enemy down.
You're doing a better job of contesting me
Now for
in
the right
space.
choice.
Now I want to see how you do some. Now I want to see how you do
Making
this.
contact with enemy.
I fell.
Enemy down.
Yeah, when I'm defending an area, yeah, you have to. There is a moderate understanding that you have to respect me and dodge a lot more than you strafe aim, right?
Yeah.
Contact.
My bad.
Right here.
And now I'm gonna attack you because and then I just could not see anything because I missed and shot the ground. I could not see you because I missed and shot the ground.
Yeah,
I love this game. I love this game.
So it's a special tactic
I forgot how to do that.
specific to Apex Legends.
Maybe
Smile.
next
The
time,
visual
you
clutter.
should try a different path.
Do you know
Right.
Torch?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that clip he posted where he's in a 1v1 and he just shoots the fucking ground?
Contact with
Which
Yeah,
is so
I have.
funny. Which is so funny.
Legitimate tactic.
I've been downed.
I tried to do my own counterattack, but it didn't work at all.
Maybe next time, you should try a different path. Making contact with enemy.
Someone's been here.
That was very
Enemy
close.
down.
I got a little shaky.
Hostile close.
Keeping my eyes here.
Down
Contact
another.
with target.
Especially when I'm in a position to defend.
Yeah.
I can also just mirror you all the time, right? Because the mirroring goes bad, I can just drop down and drop behind me, right?
Yeah.
But if you're mirroring me up here, you have all less options than I do, right? Because
Yeah.
if you drop to the side, I can just follow you to the side, right? And if you back up, you can't really go anywhere, right? So when I'm in a defensively advantageous position, I'm gonna mirror you.
All right.
Contact with hostile.
Let's go this way.
It's not like a rule of thumb, but I will try to just do achieve it, right? Now we're pretty equal, and then you shit on me.
I'm down.
Not bad. Yeah, especially seeing you be a lot more aggressive in terms of space control is really good. I like it a lot. Giving you practical application for this is good.
This time I'm
An
down.
equal match. Yeah,
Maybe next time, you should try a different
remember that the whole goal of attacking is to try and not only deal damage but try and get like an opportunity to get behind somebody or something like that, right? You're trying to
Yeah.
look at opportunities and weaknesses, and I tried to force a opening in you. That sounds really weird. I apologize. I tried to force an opening when fighting you. That's a way better way to word that. I tried to force a opportunity by like hard swinging one of your sides, and you didn't properly react to it, so I got to punish you for a lot of
Let's go
damage.
this way.
Alright.
Contact with hostile.
Contact.
You played that very well. That was way better. That was really already way better than when I first started the session with you, or like first started like the 1v1 with you.
Hostile right here.
So I want you to do something, especially, right? So if you come out first, right? If you
Yeah.
if you super glide out first, and because you're super gliding one,
Try a different path.
you have a faster speed, right? And faster speed
Yeah.
means that you establish all this space immediately, right? And
Yeah.
and I don't super glide back at you. If I'm just because I'm sliding like this, right? I intentionally slid like this, so you could potentially cut me off, right? You just gave me the space for free. I want you to cut me off if I'm taking bad space, right? So
Alright.
so when I slide like this, right? I tried to bait you, or I'm not trying to bait you. I'm trying to see if you would take the opportunity, right? Where you can force me out like this, right? Even if you force me like this, I can't move backward at all, right?
Yeah.
And you have the ability to circle me really well, but I can't really circle you too well, right? Because I don't have the like the working space for it, right?
All right.
Hostile right here.
Might be something good this way.
You'll get a lot better with practice, especially if you take 1v1s against people that are also trying to fight for space and not just shooting you to shoot you, right?
Making contact with enemy.
Going to check out right here.
I downed an enemy.
Wrong character.
Maybe.
Now for the right choice. Contact.
Listen, let's move here.
Oh,
I've been down.
yeah. I had reloaded and you hard body blocked me, which is really good. I accidentally left the lobby, but I guess that's the end of it anyway. I accidentally left the lobby, but oh well. Was that good?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions at all? Again?
Definitely that was definitely the 1v1s were definitely very helpful to cement the concepts in.
Yeah. I'm glad it could help. If you have questions at all, you can always DM me. You can always ask me questions about like anything you have really.
Yeah. I assume like short clips are welcome as well.
Yeah, you can always give me like short clips or whatever you need.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to like look at whatever you have. If you have specific questions, be sure to always ask me. Our
Alright.
next session, it depends on what you want to do for next session. Actually, we'll more so talk about it when we get there. But
Yeah, I
Uh,
definitely I want to take some time to kind of think about to put some stuff in practice and think about
yeah, it doesn't necessarily be ranked. It just has to be against good players, which is typically ranked. But you can also like 1v1 your friends and like show me some clips. They aren't like the greatest value, don't get me wrong, but they can still be used.
more than really just trying to wait until they fix that bug because I'm not really looking forward to get set to rookie.
Oh yeah, huh? I forgot that was a thing. I'm lucky.
Yeah, I've just kind of been avoiding it due to that
Yeah,
alone issue. But I'll definitely try to play some ranked and